This podcast is brought to you by Key for Her. Whether you're feeling the effects of menopause or your menstrual cycle, discover what's key for you in less than 5 minutes with tailored supplement recommendations, information and insights on keyforher.com.
Hi, I'm Renee.
And I'm Donna. Welcome to the Key for Her podcast.
In this series, we aim to educate and open up honest conversations with both medical professionals and real-life women.
We want to shine a light on those topics that sometimes go unspoken about and help empower women to know what is key for their health and well-being. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Key for Her podcast.
So today, Donna and I will talk through key tips to help you navigate your perimenopause and menopause journey. We're going to answer some of the top questions we get from our key customers and why our crazy TikToks keep going viral.
Wow, can you believe it's September already?
I know,
Where
it's
did the
crazy.
summer go?
I think this is going to be a really good episode because we're really talking about these kind of tips that we send out to our customers when we're having our chats through emails and stuff like that and online, and we want to be able to help give them these tips and spread the knowledge that we've kind of curated over time. Yeah.
And I'm sure there is like certain questions that come up time and time again. So we're going to try and cover some of those today. And don't know if you all know, but we're pretty much TikTok famous now. We're about to hit 50,000 followers. So there's 50,000 women watching our crazy videos on perimenopause, menopause, and menstrual health and skin. And it's just been insane to see what has gone viral and what is resonating with you all. And I suppose us letting down our guard and revealing, our own symptoms through comical videos and informative videos. You seem to be all resonating with these. So it's very interesting to us to see what
went viral. There's some videos where you're giving out really great information. You're like, oh, they're going to love this one. You're like, oh, not so much. But then other ones that could be completely random. There was one about dry eyes being a symptom of perimenopause. And
you were in the bed
trying to put the drops in so I could actually see, and that resonated with so many people. Like that
was one of your biggest videos.
Yeah. I was like, don't get out of bed for less than 10,000 views.
It's funny, like you said, you'd spend a while planning one and recording and editing and hoping that will resonate well with everybody and give some good information. But it's the ones you spend 5 minutes doing when you're in bed or you have no makeup on that are actually the ones that take off.
I suppose it's people, they can resonate with them, I think. So a couple of the other ones that went viral as well, there was one that you had done on brain fog that was really popular. It resonated with a lot of people.
Yeah, just going around the house being my normal self.
Walking into different rooms saying, why did I come in here?
Because we all definitely do suffer from brain fog, maybe at different seasons especially as well. But it's one thing that a lot of people seem to go, yeah, oh my God, I do that as well. And I do this too. What else did you find went viral for you?
There was one about irritability, and where I was sitting in my kitchen, about to eat something, and I could hear himself
the crunching.
Yeah, and like everyone, they all seem to hate the crunching.
You've done two noises.
Yeah, husband's breathing too loud and them eating too loud as well. But it's funny because what a lot of people don't know is that in perimenopause, due to fluctuations in levels of estrogen, and a lot of people don't know this, that you can perceive sound and smells differently. And a lot of people as well, they can't stand certain smells, or something that might have been okay before is so much more heightened. And
so it's more intense. You hear and smell everything.
My kids started kind of cracking their knuckles. I don't know why. I think they
crazy
saw
anyway.
A friend do it, and I was like, oh. And anytime I hear it, it just goes straight through me. Like, so I don't know. It probably doesn't sound nice for anyone else anyway. So
that's really interesting fact, though.
Factoid, yes.
That you know, your senses are heightened. Is that
Yeah, full on
pretty
spidey
much
senses. Yeah, and I suppose, you know, and like that, you are more sensitive in perimenopause as well. And
Am I gonna cry?
am I
Am
gonna
I
cry?
gonna cry?
No, I'm okay. Yes, that was another one. But I suppose another ones as well that have been really popular ones about sleep and talking about the whole cycle of how sleep can get disturbed in perimenopause, or you might be too hot, or there might be hot flashes and you can't sleep, or you're just waking up in the middle of the night, and that turns into, you know, being really tired the next day, having low energy, you know, that kind of brain fog kind of feeling because you can't feel like you're fully functioning. And then you might start snacking on sugary or high calorie kind of foods to try to
when
give
you're
yourself a bit
knackered,
of a boost.
you just turn to something to give you
That kind of comfort, a bit
fix.
of a boost, or else too much coffee, and next thing you know, you're feeling more anxious because you've had too much coffee and you've had too much sugar.
I just can't drink that much coffee anymore. It makes me so jittery.
Yeah, I never really felt the jitters before. I couldn't understand what people were saying about it, but I noticed though that some years ago I was noticing that I was extra tired. I was drinking more of it, and by the end of the day, like, you were just a bit shaky and it didn't feel good, and it kind of felt a bit anxiousy, I suppose, and you didn't really know why. But you were drinking coffee just to try get the energy, but you ended up feeling like scared. What's happening to me?
You're just underneath your covers, like at the end of the day. Yeah, so it's that kind of cycle of not being able to sleep, trying to find things to get the energy that aren't good for you, and then you end up feeling anxious and more tired at the end of the day, and you still can't sleep, and then
it's happened again.
So it's a bad cycle, and a lot of people find themselves in that. So all the videos to do with sleep then, or sleep problems, are really resonating with our audience. Things like you had just said, they're feeling more sensitive. So it's all to do with hormones. We're on a roller coaster.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, their progesterone is lower as well. So like, they're just feeling that their PMS is that more intense, or they feel like they're going to cry so much easier, or things that wouldn't have bothered them as much before, everything. They just feel like they're feeling everything more.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to be aware of that, and to even talk to your partner about it, because it could help possibly stop potential rows. You know, if they know how you're feeling, and there's certain times, you know, when your emotions are just going to be a bit more heightened. You know, are you rowing with your spouse perhaps the same time every month? Maybe you should kind of
or
look
more
at calendar, or more.
And to talk to them how you feel. And like we've always said, that communication is
key.
Nowadays. It really is, though. And if you're trying to hide that you're going through this, that's just the wrong move.
Yeah. And I think so many, and we've had emails from customers that were doing that they were trying to hide it because they were feeling less feminine in themselves, because they felt like they were getting older, and it was kind of like admitting that they were getting older, and they were afraid that their partner wouldn't see them as they used to, or the same, which is sad. Like, but really, like, what they should do is talk to them.
But they're getting older too. They're not the only ones.
They're not the only ones. It's I like that. Like we always say, communication is key, and a lot of the time, they're appreciative of the fact that, you know, that you've spoken to them about it. And I know in my house, I talk about perimenopause and menopause like nearly every single day.
Come home.
I'm sorry, wait till I tell you this new fact that I heard about, and sure, the kids know about it as well.
It's great though.
At the start, the kids were laughing about the TikToks. You know,
I'm sure Morto they were.
Morto. I'm sorry, who's Morto now with 50,000 followers? How many of you got? It's great.
But you yourself and Virgil talk about it a lot. You would be very open with how you feel.
Yeah.
And encourage us, the guys, to talk as well. And
I
the
think
partners
so too.
to talk.
And I don't think it was like, just wasn't explained to anyone, perimenopause or menopause, when we were growing up.
No.
It was like, you might get a few minutes of a talk about your period, and if you were lucky, for some people not even in school at all.
It was all very secret.
And it was all very hush hush. Like,
But I
And-
think that's maybe why TikToks are our
Yeah,
TikToks are
everyone's
doing,
getting the information.
because we're just saying all the things everyone is thinking in their
Yes.
own heads. So they're like, oh my God, like someone else feels that way too.
Yeah. And
I'm
you
not
can see it.
alone.
Yes, not alone. And TikTok is now being used as the new Google.
I've heard that.
Yes, so people don't want to just Google things and have to read through so much information. TikTok is being used as an information source now, where people want to see videos and a visual of what they want to know about, and they can get it in like, a minute or 3 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, like if you want a new recipe, you can get it in less than a minute now,
Yeah.
and get a quick, fast
You'll have a
way.
lovely pasta Italian
Yeah.
dish and you're like, I could do that.
Yeah, it's amazing. But was at the Women's Health Conference in Dublin, and we were just speaking all about education around menstrual cycles in particular. And one of the girls from the audience stood up and she said that she's learned more from TikTok about her menstrual cycle than she has done in her entire time in school or at a GP or anything like that.
We get a lot of messages saying from people
Mm.
saying the same thing.
They're getting the information they need quickly and effectively.
Yes.
And there's just so much more of it now. So it's a great thing to see, and it's great that we're part of it as well.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
We're like their big sisters, helping them out. Yeah, even if they're older than us, we're like, like a big friendly gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's brilliant. And so we do videos every day. So if you're up for a laugh and you want some information on everything that we talk about, go on to Keep for Her on TikTok. So I suppose it might be good to talk about, we launched at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It might be good to talk about our own customers and the questions that because you speak to them mostly every day.
Yeah.
What you find they're asking, what are the top questions? What are women searching for? And how can we help them?
Yeah. Well, I suppose a lot of them would come to us and say, oh, is this particular one suitable for me, or that one, is it key menstrual or key peri?
There's
Some
huge
of them
confusion.
Some of them are on the cusp, and they say, I don't have hot flashes, but I've all the other symptoms, but my period's still regular. And I'm there, listen to yourself. You just play it all back there.
Yeah.
Just look at the symptoms. If there's something that you're really concerned about, always visit your doctor. Like, it could always be something else. But if you're in your late 30s or early 40s, just be aware that perimenopause can start 10 years or more before menopause. And just to be prepared, because it's easier to do something about it now, and just to know what the changes are to expect, and to prepare yourself, because you don't want to have to wait, as I say, until the shit hits the fan and you're pumping sweat, or you're in work, or you're trying to give a presentation and you don't know what's happening to you.
Yeah.
You think some women have thought they were having a panic attack or something like that, when it could be a hot flush. And I suppose years ago, I thought to myself, oh yeah, I'm going to get all the help I need when it comes to menopause. Didn't really know the word perimenopause
When it happens.
and I said, oh, maybe when I get my first hot flush, then I go like to some cool specialist. Maybe I'll go to London or something and get all like this
Wow,
cool
you're
kind
very
of
fancy
thing.
in your head.
All this great stuff. But no, it started happening to me when I was about 37, 38, and it took me a while to realize actually what it was. And then it's like as if, we've taken it on ourselves to say, listen, these are the symptoms to look out for. And that's what gets people kind of hooked. And then they start asking more questions and they say, okay, right, that kind of makes sense and that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
because the more you know,
the more you know.
the more you know, and
Yeah.
the more prepared you are.
Yeah.
And if you can identify these symptoms earlier rather than later, you're going to obviously get
You're
on top
ahead
of
of
it,
the
and
curve.
you're not
Yeah.
going to it's not going to hit you all like a ton of bricks at once.
Yeah.
Which probably did for our parents' generation because they just didn't know anything about it.
Mhm.
And to be quite honest, a lot of people I know through feedback that we get, still don't understand the difference between perimenopause and menopause. So it's just even on that piece of education alone, that it can start in and around your early 40s, all the way up, and generally the kind of average age for menopause, which is the 12 months without a period, is 51 in and around that.
And around. But it can be earlier for some people, and it could be later for others. So just to be forewarned is forearmed, as we say. Yeah.
So what are they asking us? You know, what are the top questions I suppose
a lot of them are product focused as well for us, because they're asking, you know, which product might be right for them. They can do the quiz, but sometimes they might have other different questions where they'd have to email us, and we'd have to give them a more kind of breakdown answer. But like, once they've bought the product, a lot of them are asking, you know, what's the best time to take it? When during the day. We always say with Key Collagen, try take it on an empty stomach, you know, preferably in the morning. You can keep it beside your bed, or you can keep it in the fridge.
I keep it in the fridge. It's actually lovely and
you
refreshing
love it in the
fridge,
morning. Like, so I have it actually on my desk, but I have right, because we own the company, I've got 2 boxes on the go.
I'm actually none right now, so I'm all out. I've given all my boxes away.
That's the problem when you have them at home.
I need to go to the warehouse.
Yeah, a few little kind of mice come in and start taking these. But the thing is, you know, some people were leaving their products on their office desk, and it's like, how are you supposed to get the best results when you're not taking it on Saturday, on Sunday as well?
Right.
So I always say you need to stay consistent. Set the alarm on your phone as a little reminder, even if you need to remind yourself because of the brain fog or just busy life, you know. Okay, and then you can remind yourself to take it. However, like, say for example, if the morning didn't suit you or whatever, you can always take Key Collagen at another time in the day, but just take it on an empty stomach, so you're actually going to absorb those collagen peptides most effectively. Because if you're going to go to the bother of taking it, you need to take it consistently and at the right time. And then when it comes to the other supplements, with like the likes of Key Menstrual or Key Perimenopause, you can take those with food for better absorption. So you can have them all with your breakfast
at the same time in the morning.
You're just like lashing them all in.
Yeah, I get them all in, and then I have my breakfast.
Yeah, so there's some food there as well. But that's one of the questions we get asked. We also get asked, can you take them with HRT? Yes, you can. Another question we get is, will they help with hot flushes and night sweats? So yes, they have been shown to be really effective for it, whether you're taking HRT or not. There's 4 different phytoestrogens that are in them, and they have proven to be very effective. So that's.
And what are phytoestrogens for someone who doesn't know what a phytoestrogen is?
They're basically plant-based estrogens that mimic the estrogen in your own body. So they work on your estrogen receptors. It's not actually an estrogen itself. So it works on your receptors. So it helps to balance those highs and their lows. Now, I know we'll get back to hot flushes in a while because we have a whole list of tips, but alcohol and, you know, certain other things can make your hot flushes and night sweats a lot better. And I know that there's people that are possibly having a few nightcaps.
A lot better, a lot worse.
Oh, sorry.
Just to clear that up.
Okay.
That's
Rewind.
Do not drink wine to make your hot flushes better. I would just say
this will make you feel better, not the wine.
Actually, I did a TikTok on this the other day about
nightcaps.
alcohol and the itchy skin.
Histamine response.
Your histamine response is heightened.
It's heightened, and that's due to the lack of estrogen as well, and that you can find that you end up having more allergies, and kind of responses to foods or drinks or things.
Red wine especially is a serious trigger.
Your face would be like, pfft, and next thing you're sweating and you've got the tissue stuck to your head and you can't sleep. And
I noticed that myself. I can't have more than 1 or 2 glasses of red wine. My face just goes like a tomato.
Yeah.
So, and I was well able to drink it 10 years ago.
Now, not so much.
No,
and not for the lack of trying.
Of a Friday night.
Yeah.
Sorry, we went off topic there.
Went off topic. We'll come back though at a later stage.
Phytoestrogens we were talking about, and you were talking about receptors, and the receptors are all over the body, aren't they?
All over the body, like they're in your eyes, they're in the tips of your fingers. That's why some people notice they get tingly fingers in perimenopause, and they're like, I didn't even know that was a symptom. Or you get dry eyes or itchy ears. Burning mouth is another thing as well that you can experience too. It's kind of crazy, and I suppose people don't realize how important estrogen is until you don't have enough of it, and you're just like, okay. So I suppose on to the next question. Can you still take an omega-3 or a probiotic with them? And yes, you can. Like, that's no problem. We just say, like, you don't need a multivitamin with them because it is your full multivitamin and mineral. You don't need to be going and taking extra iron or zinc or vitamin D. We put it all in there.
And you don't have to go and buy all these extra herbals like sage, hops, all of that. We've put it in the other blend. We worked with an amazing formulation team, a European formulation team of formulation experts and nutritionists to work on these formulas, you know, to put in so much. Like in Keep Perimenopause, there's 44 ingredients. Like, show me a product in a pharmacy or a health store that has 44 ingredients in it. There were so many of them.
I'll wait.
There's so many of them that we needed to try and get in that we had to split it into 2 separate blends. So that's why you have your white tablet and your yellow tablet in the Peri Plus Menopause product. And then you have the white one and the pinky purple one for the menstrual one. Anyway, sorry, we'll get back to the question.
Yeah. So yes, that basically you don't need other supplements with them unless you want to take an omega-3 or a probiotic, which you don't have to. But you can also get omega-3s in your diet easily with salmon, mackerel, flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, you know. Okay. So they're there.
Brilliant.
You know. Another question is, sometimes people will see a subscription and go, oh, I used to, you know, be signed up to the gym years ago and they wouldn't let me out of my contract for a year and I only went 3 times. The subscription is not like signing up to a membership where you're stuck for a year. The subscription is, we're just doing you the favor by posting it out to you once a month so you don't forget to buy it. Or 3 months.
We have the 3-month option.
So you can, there's the option of buying a single box to try it. If you want to just buy it that way, you can do that.
You get free shipping as well, don't they?
Yeah, on the subscription. So it's great. Like, and then if they do the subscription, it's a bit cheaper and it just keeps you on track and you're more likely to see better results when you don't have a break in the product. So when you buy it first, you have a key account on the website and you can just log in. And if you want to pause or cancel it anytime, you can just do that. Say if you're going on a trip around the world for like 6 months, you're like, I'm not going to be here for a while. And you're like, okay.
You should really bring it with you.
You could, just by 6 months.
We'll deliver it to the cruise ship.
Yeah. Or a little hut in Bali. So just with the subscriptions, it's just handy and the customer has full control over it. So it just makes sense.
And another one handy. I noticed they ask, can they have collagen with the other 2 products?
Yeah. A lot of customers do that. They'll take Key Collagen with Key Menstrual, or they'll take Key Collagen with Key Perimenopause.
I take Key Collagen with Key Menstrual every morning. Yeah, so 2 tablets and a sachet, and then I'm
on the other one. I'm on Key Perimenopause and Key Collagen. I love them. And my other half, he does nick the collagen on me the odd
time.
Mark
has been taking so many collagens.
Yeah,
my back. That's
he's
why I have
quite
no
the glow.
I know, he looks great. In fairness.
This podcast is brought to you by our very own brand, Key for Her. Whether you're feeling the effects of menopause or your menstrual cycle, discover what's key for you in less than 5 minutes with tailored supplement recommendations, information and insights on keyforher.com.
Please have 20% off on us by using the promo code KEYPODCAST in all capitals.
So these are some of our key tips that we give out to a lot of customers. We always say for best results, we recommend some lifestyle changes. with diet and exercise, etc. Like a lot of people will know the basics, but there's some of them in here that people won't know, and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So if they even help one person, won't that help? To make them feel
Are
better.
these your key tips for perimenopause and menopause?
Yes.
Okay, and on another episode we'll do tips for menstrual
cycles.
Yeah,
because
other
these have actually helped a lot of people. So I'm going to fly through them quickly. So number one, sleep is a big issue in perimenopause. So like with your bed sheets and PJs, try go with more natural fabrics. They'll help you to feel cooler. And if you experience night sweats, get the hair up off the back of your neck and do the hun bun, because you need I do like full pineapple on the top of my head, or else put your hair in like a plait or whatever. But if you have all this hair at the back of your head, it's making it feel sweaty in the middle of the night. It's not gonna be nice. Also, if you're not getting enough sleep, it's harder for you to lose any extra weight that you might be putting on, because your body's not going to give it up. So you really need to get enough sleep if you're trying to manage your weight as well. Eye drops beside your bed can be really helpful if your eyes are gritty, or in the morning, or they just
because
feel really
during
dry.
perimenopause, menopause, dryness is a thing,
and it can be in your eyes as well. It can be handy to keep an eye mask beside your bed if you feel like you're waking up because it's kind of bright in the mornings and stuff. You can pop it on, even if
they're super glam.
Yeah, super glam. You get really nice ones now. Stick one on to help you sleep a little bit longer. So your metabolism naturally slows down in perimenopause, and you can gain weight even if you're still eating the same and moving the same as you were previously. Quite more often than not, the weight tends to go on around your middle. So this can be very frustrating. So what you can do is you need to up your movement, up your exercise, but it doesn't have to be like crazy rigorous stuff. You literally have to just get moving, do an exercise that you actually like, and try get in some fresh air every single day.
Yeah. Like I've started just getting back into new routine. I'm just doing 20 minutes on the bike and just 20 minutes of resistance weight training and bands. And that's all you need to do.
Great.
And then off you go.
Another thing, we were brought up in a generation where people thought that exercise was a form of torture just to lose weight. Yeah. And it's not. No. You need it for your mental health, and you need this movement just to get your body moving so you don't feel all creaky and
because we all sit so much during the day at the computers and stuff, so it's good just to get your legs moving. To try add some weights into your exercise routine as well. It is great for your bone health and your muscles as well, because we have to be aware of osteoporosis, and this by adding weight bearing exercises into your routine can make a big difference as well. So in that, yoga and Pilates can be really gentle too, if that's what you really like. And you can, as part of it, you can do exercises that help your pelvic floor muscles at that time, because it's important to keep those maintained. And we have a full other podcast on Pilates for perimenopause and menopause, so make sure to check that out.
With Rachel Hollywood, that's a few episodes back. So cut down on added sugar, as it plays havoc with your hormones and can cause more weight gain and inflammation as well. So
inflammation's a big thing.
It is a big thing, yeah. Cut down on processed food and swap for more whole foods. I know this sounds very sensible, but just be more aware that you're getting adequate protein, fiber, and healthy fats. And if you're still having a lot of cravings in the evening, you need to have added more protein into your meals during the day to help you feel fuller for longer, like chicken, fish, meat, or whatever. Key perimenopause contains alpha lipoic acid, chromium, magnesium, vitamin B12, and zinc, and these all help with blood sugar balance and cravings as well. So that was a really important one for us in the whole process of creating the formula. That was a big thing for people. So like what we were talking about with this histamine response, consider how foods that contain the likes of dairy, like with cheese, milk, ice cream, or gluten, like bread or pasta, consider how they make you feel. And you might have been able to eat them for years with no problem, but now all of a sudden you're thinking, are they giving you headaches, or are they making you feel puffy?
So get more in touch with how you feel
after eating them.
Get more in touch with yourself,
and it's sometimes
be more aware.
You could eat them today, but you won't realize the puffiness until tomorrow morning when you wake up and you're like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Why do my eyes look like this?
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. And the alternatives to the likes of dairy, like oat milk and stuff, I thought I would never, ever give up milk because I thought it was the only thing that I could put in tea that would make tea taste still like tea. But if you get the barista oat milk, I've encouraged you to swap, and you fully
swapped over.
It's a great one. Also, you can keep a food diary to see if any foods are triggering your symptoms like that, to include drinks as well, or make you feel worse. And that allergies and food sensitivities can be a thing that only start in perimenopause. Manage your stress by doing
stress is a big thing, isn't it?
Like, because I know you love the ones on YouTube as well, like these meditations. I find them great. They're so easy. Give me a 10-minute one and like I'll just close my eyes, stick on the headphones.
I'm
like,
always listening to Kelly Howell on Spotify or YouTube, and she does guided meditations, and it's just absolutely spectacular if you need to wind down, fall asleep to them even. But definitely to manage stress is so important.
And if you're not managing your stress, that's going to rear its ugly head by the time the PMS kicks in. So if you're not managing your stress, it's just going to make the PMS feel more intense. Or if there's things that you're not dealing with in your life, they're going to rear their ugly heads again, so try deal with them, or, just
you'll come back round. Some other way.
Also, stress can have an effect on if you're trying to lose weight or maintain your weight in perimenopause as well, because if you've an awful lot of cortisol rushing around your body, it's like a stress hormone, it'll be harder to lose weight. So you need to calm thee down if possible.
Calm it
down. You can make a list of tasks to do and tick them off as you do them. And getting more organized can help you feel more in control, especially if brain fog is an issue. Set alarms on your phone to remind you to do things. And you're like, oh yeah, is it 3 o'clock already? I have to do whatever. It can just make a difference. Like these little kind of things. Be aware of how much you're drinking. It is full of sugar and can worsen symptoms, especially hot flushes, night sweats, and cause more disturbed sleep. If you smoke, obviously cut down and quit if possible. Don't be surprised. This is the thing we were talking about earlier about if you all of a sudden can't stand certain smells or the sound of people chewing food. Yeah. And you're just there.
You're just, in general, a lot more irritable, I think.
Yes.
And so it just comes across as... you might be a bit snappy.
Snappy.
But it's all just extra sensitivity due to hormone fluctuations.
So another thing is to make sure you're getting enough fiber so you'll actually feel less bloated, so you can add more veg in. If you find that's hard to do, you can get this thing in the health store called psyllium husks, and you can add them to a glass of water and it kind of turns into a gel. It tastes fine. It's a great way to add in more fiber into your day. Don't take your supplements with tea and coffee. I'd be blue in the face telling this to people, because it can affect the absorption of some of the nutrients. So what's the point in taking them if you're knocking them back with your coffee? Just have them with food and a bit of water and you're grand.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're trying to keep the weight down or trying to lose weight, try avoid drinking coffee on an empty stomach in the morning before exercise, as it may raise your cortisol levels, your stress hormones. High cortisol levels make it more difficult to lose weight. So as the body is constantly in a stressed state. Try and wait till later in the day. Would you say better. Like after you've eaten something? So probably later morning.
Especially for women, it doesn't seem to affect men, I don't think, as much, but like we're just more sensitive to it. But the next one actually is one that I'm very passionate about. It was my first perimenopause symptom. It was an irritated / sensitive bladder. So consider cutting down on caffeine, coffee, alcohol and fizzy drinks, as they can irritate the lining of the bladder and sometimes cause pain and irritation.
That was hard for you to recognize and go, actually, I just can't have any alcohol and I can't have any fizzy drinks. They don't suit me. Every time I have them, You said you just went really bloated. You'd have an irritated bladder.
It'd be sore, so sore.
It's a big thing to kind of say no to that and change your lifestyle, but sometimes you just have to.
Yeah, and I feel fine now. Like, it's so much better, especially people thinking they have a UTI when they don't. It just tends to be a really sensitive bladder. Make sure you're eating, a varied kind of diet that's abundant in fruits and veg, and make sure to keep your gut health happy, because happy guts means happy people.
Exactly. If you take HRT or considering using it, know that it can be taken alongside key peri and menopause and key collagen for a comprehensive nutritional approach for perimenopause.
So just to explain a bit, that HRT, that's going to help you replace lost hormones, but it's not going to help you bring up your magnesium levels if they're really low, or your B vitamins or your vitamin D, which are all really, really important in that stage of your life. And up to, I know there was an American study, it said up to 85% of women at this stage of their life are deficient in these essential nutrients. So just to make sure you're getting that nutritional approach, ticked off as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And when you're being intimate with your partner, make sure to use lubricant, because the vagina and the surrounding skin can become very dry and irritated at this time in our life. So just make sure that you feel comfortable, and adding lubricant to that scenario really, really does help.
Can
so
help,
we recommend it for every woman kind of over 40. Yeah.
There's also a topical, there's a vaginal estrogen that you can get. It's a form of HRT that's only used locally. If you're feeling really dry, you can chat to your doctor about it, and it can be life-changing for some women. So
setting boundaries, decluttering, and focusing on what you're grateful for can all be very positive things and steps you can take to more to, I suppose, look at this new phase in your life in a more positive way.
Yeah.
Because it's seen quite negatively, but it doesn't have to be.
No, and it used to be called the change, but for a lot of women, they're like waking up going, no, I'm not doing everything for you anymore. Like, you're old enough, do it yourself. I want to look after me now. I want to
You have
do
more
the things.
time.
Yeah. I want to do the things that I want to do now. And you really know yourself at this stage. So do what you like doing,
Yeah, absolutely.
But another thing I want to say as well, write down what's bothering you, because sometimes when you've so many things flying around your head, and it can make you feel the noise, you want to shut it off. And a lot of the time, if you write down what the noise is and categorize them, you're like, okay, it's not really as bad. It's just when they're all,
it gets overwhelming.
It just gets a bit overwhelming. Like that communication, talk to your partner about what's
or your friends,
and your friends, just talk communication.
We talk all the time, and to everybody else, no
Sick
one
of listening to me.
Shut us up. But I think it's a really, really good thing.
Yeah.
And if you find that makes you feel shy, or you're too shy, maybe find someone who you feel very comfortable with and start with something small and just kind of work towards that. So I think the more you can open up about it and be honest about how you feel and share that with your partner,
it
share
turns
that with
out
your friend.
Other people are feeling the same way. You're like, I didn't know. And you're
We're
like,
all
what do you
feeling
say?
it.
And they were like, I was too scared. It turns out they're all talking about their Kegel exercises.
Yeah, I know. Listen to us weekly for more tips and tricks and hacks and all things perimenopause, menopause, the menstrual cycle, skin health. And we also have Dr. Caoimhe Hartley on every few weeks, and she's our resident doctor. She's bringing on some amazing specialists to speak about certain things that you have all asked for. And we'll be back with more mad things to talk about.
Tips and tricks and making a fool of ourselves on TikTok.
You can find
whatever
us there.
It takes.
You can find us on TikTok daily, Instagram, Facebook, and you can also come here every week, listen or watch us on YouTube, listen to us on Spotify, and we'll hopefully continue to bring you good information and honesty and openness about all these crazy feelings we're all having and experiences that we're going through.
Chat to you next time. Thank you so much for joining us on the Key for Her podcast. We'd be so grateful if you could hit subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with your friends.
For tips, tricks, and hacks on all things perimenopause, menopause, periods, menstrual cycles, and skin health, follow us at Key for Her on TikTok and Instagram.
Check out our website, keyforher.com, for more information.